Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'll be explaining the powers and abilities of Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers, human-Kree hybrid warrior, friend to the X-Men, member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and member of the Avengers. Carol spent most of her life thinking she was a part of a regular family. Little did she know that her mother was secretly an alien from the Kree. Her mother was an elite super soldier sent to assimilate humanity. Now, when Carol grew up, she decided to go join the Air Force. In doing so, she eventually became a spy for the US military, and then she came into contact with the superhero Captain Marvel, who was also a Kree. And while on an adventure with him, she was exposed to a device called the psych magnetron, which exploded and transferred Marvel's powers into Carol. She then became a superhero named Miss Marvel, based off of Captain Marvel. Eventually, Carol found out that it wasn't really that Marvel's powers were transferred into her, simply the event with the psych magnetron and the explosion activated her latent Kree powers, because she's half Kree. Now eventually, many years after Marvel's death, and after many people had already called themselves Captain Marvel after him, such as Wendell Vaughn and Monica Rambeau, Carol got a new costume and decided to go by the name Captain Marvel in order to honor her dead boyfriend. Now for her powers. We'll start with her flight speed. Carol has the ability to fly across the universe much faster than light, and she has the ability to survive in space unaided without the need of any oxygen. Now, while she's in the gravity of a planet, she can't move faster than light, but she can fly well over supersonic speeds. Next up, we have Carol's super strength. As we can see here, she ripped straight through Venom, ripping out Mac Gargan inside. She's able to carry large chunks of buildings, and as we can see here, she picks up a celestial and moves it, which is the size of a skyscraper. Here we can see Carol catch a speeding missile and then throw it. Here we can see her catch a meteor and then throw it. And here we can see her catch another meteor and then throw it. Here we can see Carol slam a super scroll through several buildings and then fly him straight through orbit. Here we can see Carol one-shot a T-Rex, killing it with just one punch. She is also strong enough to smack around the likes of Iron Man and actually do damage to his armors. She's also able to knock out Valkyrie. And as we can see here, she slams the Incredible Hulk into the ground, creating a huge crater. Then she continues to wail on him, but actually tires herself out hitting him. Hulk then laughs at her and punches her through a helicarrier and into space. So Carol is extremely strong, but she's clearly not in the same weight class as the likes of Thor and the Hulk. This is shown again when she gets into a fight with Wonder Man, who is as strong as the Hulk and Thor. They both go all out, and she loses to Wonder Man. And here, while she was mind-controlled and fighting Thor, Thor defeated her simply by throwing Mjolnir into the air and letting it fall on her head. Of course, this showcases Carol's massive durability as well, as she's able to survive these strikes from the Hulk and Thor. Carol is also completely bulletproof. So again, Carol is very strong and durable, but she's not quite on the Thor and Hulk level. She's more along the lines of Iron Man and Vision, who are all very strong and are able to fight the likes of the Hulk and Thor, but would only have the chance of winning at using some type of super move or outmaneuvering the opponent, not just straight up overpowering them. Now on to Carol's other powers that make her extremely powerful. As you can see here, Carol can shoot energy blasts powerful enough to tear up giant spaceships. Here we can see her shoot several laser beams that go straight through a symbiote-infected T-Rex, and her energy beams are also capable of harming Iron Man's suits. Carol is also capable of emitting very powerful omnidirectional blasts. Carol's greatest power is her ability to absorb energy, all forms of it. As we can see here, Iron Man shoots his repulsors at her, she absorbs them, and then shoots them right back out. And like I said earlier, she can absorb all forms of energy, so she can survive extremely powerful energy attacks, and can even sense it floating around her. Here we can see her absorb gamma radiation, from the abomination. And here, we can see Carol rip all of the energy right out of Count Nefaria, a being who was made up of ionic energy very similar to Wonder Man, but was even more powerful. And she was able to absorb all the ionic energy out of him and leave him unconscious. Carol was even able to siphon off some of the energy of the Phoenix Force itself. When Carol absorbs enough energy, she can go into a mode which is called binary mode, where she can become a cosmic being. At one point, she was completely overtaken by this and went around on cosmic adventures trying to figure out how to navigate this new life. And while doing so, she accidentally destroyed an entire planet. That's how powerful her binary powers really are. Now, Carol hasn't been able to reach these levels again, nor does she want to, because she doesn't like how she loses herself in the power. However, she has been able to achieve a lower level power binary mode, which is more powerful than her baseline strength, and she uses this mode in intense situations to take down opponents and destroy things she normally wouldn't be able to. Of course, to achieve this level, she has to absorb a large amount of energy first. Now, this is why Carol is depicted as being so OP in the MCU, because within the MCU, they decided to make it that she always has access to her binary powers whenever she wants them, not having to absorb energy first. Okay, now back to the comics. Now, as for Carol's skills, with her being a Kree-human hybrid, she has the Kree natural battle instincts within her, allowing her to develop her own form of martial arts and fight well during battles. She also has a sixth sense, which can guide her to danger and sense when there are problems in the world. It also acts as an early warning system, kind of like a spider sense sometimes. Now, as for Carol's character, what's odd about her is what Marvel has decided to do with her in recent times. Now, for most of Carol's career, she has been portrayed as kind of an edgy hero who goes about doing her own thing in her own way. She's often been shown to have a short temper, and at one point, while dealing with alcoholism, she got into a fight with Iron Man and kicked him into the sky, causing him to crash into a plane, nearly killing everyone in the plane. Nowadays, that Marvel tries to market her as a Wonder Woman type role model character, it doesn't really make any sense. Carol is not that, and she never really has ever been that. Now, there's nothing wrong with a flawed hero, as Iron Man is one of the most popular superheroes ever. And while he has admirable qualities, he isn't the pinnacle of virtue, like Captain America or other virtuous heroes like Thor. The thing is, because of the way they've decided to market her, if you open up a Captain Marvel comic, in the write-up in the front it says that she's Earth's mightiest hero. Now that isn't true, because like I've shown you in these videos, Wonder Man, Hulk, Thor, and other heroes are much more powerful than she is. The other thing is, they try to portray her as a very experienced leader of the Avengers. But in reality, Carol isn't, as there have been many Avengers who were on the team much longer than her, including many prominent female ones, such as the Wasp, who founded the Avengers and named the Avengers, and was the longest-running chairman besides Captain America. Then we have She-Hulk, who actually is physically stronger than Carol. Then we have Wanda, who's overall more powerful than Carol is. And then we have Black Widow, who, well, is just plain cooler than Carol. Now, while all these female characters I've just mentioned are very cool, none of them quite fit a Wonder Woman archetype. What makes Wonder Woman special, and the reason why people look up to her, is because not only is she very powerful, but she's extremely compassionate and is very kind. Marvel has never really made a character like this. Then all of a sudden, Marvel decided, oh, it's Carol Danvers, even though she doesn't really cut it. So really, Marvel kind of has to pick one and go with it. Like, either have her be an edgy cosmic hero who does things her own way, or have her kind of change and grow and become a virtuous person like Captain America and stay that way, instead of this jumping back and forth or just plain lying in the marketing. Now, I think probably the greatest portrayal of Carol Danvers was in the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes TV show, where the way they did her was she was a tough-as-nails military lady, yet still kind, and wanted to do her duty to protect her country and the world, and by extension the universe. That, on top of her amazing powers, made her a really great character. Now, of course, I still enjoy comics with Carol Danvers in them, as a lot of the times she has been written well and she's pretty cool. But then other times they make her just kind of annoying and acts like she's better than other Avengers or superior to them or has more clout than them, when in reality she doesn't. And the way they have her act sometimes, she just doesn't live up to the reputation of Marvel, her predecessor. Now, when Marvel started this false marketing stuff and started trying to portray her in a way that she isn't, or act like she has more weight on the Marvel Universe than she actually does, was when she transferred from being Miss Marvel to being Captain Marvel. Now, when I was a kid, I read this comic where she first decided to take the name of Captain Marvel and got her own new Captain Marvel costume, which is really cool. I remember reading it and thinking it was really awesome because as a kid, I always loved Marvel. And to see Miss Marvel take the name of Captain Marvel and continue to carry on his legacy, I was really excited to see where that was going to go. But then they did all this annoying stuff like Civil War II and made her really annoying and tried to make it like she was somehow more important to the Avengers than the likes of Wasp or She-Hulk, which she just plain wasn't. During Civil War II, they tried to make it seem like she would be able to pull as much weight in the superhuman community as the likes of Iron Man or Captain America. But again, she wouldn't, because she hasn't been a superhero for nearly as long as either of them, and she hasn't been an Avenger for nearly as long as either Iron Man or Cap. Now, has she been cool for a very long time? Yes, she has. But not so important that she would be able to stand on the same footing as Iron Man and Cap. It would be like taking Iron Fist and all of a sudden saying, oh, Danny Rand is this great, amazing leader that everyone looks up to, and then have him get into a superhuman civil war where he leads half the superhuman community against Iron Man. That would never happen. Now, Iron Fist is an insanely cool character, but he's not a leader-type character. Same thing with Carol. She was just out and about doing her own thing. Yes, she was an Avenger for a while, but she was really her own character and didn't have that much weight on the Marvel Universe as a whole. Now, at one point, Carol was Avengers chairwoman, but the chair position has been given to many Avengers over time, and many have served, such as the Vision. He's been chairman for a time. But no one looks up to Vision as a great leader in the Marvel Universe because he was leader for a time, and then it ended, just like Carol's. Let's talk about Carol's overall motivation. So Carol's backstory is that she had a sexist father who didn't really believe that women should go to college, and he never really recognized that Carol was a competent and strong individual. Now, while it is a very sad and hard thing to deal with one or more of your parents not recognizing your value or making you feel loved, that in and of itself isn't really enough to be a strong superhero origin. So the main reason why she's always pushing herself higher, further, faster is because she feels like she was unloved by her dad and wants to just prove herself. Now, the other problem with that is that Carol has taken it as far as to try to just turn being a superhero into a career choice. She wants to succeed. That's what drove her to become leader of the Avengers. And this is shown in House of M, which is a storyline when Wanda warps reality and gives a lot of her friends exactly what they want. For example, Peter Parker, he gets to have Uncle Ben and a lot of the other people that died in his life be with him, and he never got bit by the spider. He just gets to live a normal life happy with his loved ones. Meanwhile, what Carol got was she became Superman, essentially. She was the greatest hero in the whole world, and everyone looked up to her. Now that flies in the face of everything a superhero is. At the end of the day, every hero, no matter who they are or what their origin is, they learn that with great power comes great responsibility. And just like the classic Spider-Man theme song, action is their reward. They do good things for the sake of doing good things. But with Carol, all she wants is love and admiration, and to be considered the best. But you don't get that from just wanting to do that. The heroes that are considered the best, like Captain America and Superman, are considered the best because they were just genuinely good people who wanted to help others, and that's what they did. Now, the reason why Thor and Cap are considered the pillars of virtue in the Avengers is because they can both lift Mjolnir. They're both selfless, and they're both warriors. Now, the reason why Iron Man is the final member of the Big Three is because of his genius mind and the fact that he's been there from the very beginning. He founded the Avengers, and he's been funding them the entire time. Now, while he is highly flawed like Carol, Tony still tries his best to do the right thing. And because of all the amazing things he's done and accomplished, and how long he's been an Avenger, that's why he's the final member of the Big Three, and that's why he has such importance in the superhero community. Now, another thing that makes it bizarre that Marvel editors try to make it seem like Carol stands on the same footing as those three. If you take a look at this cover here, this is Avengers number 100. So it's the 100th issue of Avengers. If you take a look at all these characters here, Iron Man, Vision, Captain America, Hawkeye, Hulk, so forth, and this picture here, this John Buscema pinup, all of these characters had been Avengers for over a decade before Carol Danvers ever joined. These are the characters here who laid down the foundation of the Avengers mythos and who defined what being an Avenger is really all about. Now let's take a look at Avengers number 200. As we can see at this point, Carol has joined and so have many others. And although Carol did some cool things as an Avenger, her time as an Avenger in the classic days was pretty short. And then after that, there were several incarnations of the Avengers, such as the West Coast Avengers and more, that she was not a part of. And so for the vast majority of Avengers history, Carol was not a part of the team. And when Carol got to serve her time as Avengers chair, she was court-martialed by the other senior members, and she was kicked out because she was drunk on duty. So with Carol's weak motivation and checkered past, it's just honestly hilarious that Marvel's like, we need a Wonder Woman. Yep, Carol Danvers, she's our girl. It's like, why her of all people? And the other problem with Carol is that she doesn't stand on her own 2 feet. She is a legacy character. A lot of people forget that. She has her name, her costume, her power set all taken from Marvel. When she first got her standalone Ms. Marvel series, it only ran for 23 issues before getting canceled. Now, since then, she has had many successful ongoing series, and just because she's a legacy character, that doesn't mean that she can't be great or isn't great. But by no means should she ever be considered the most powerful Marvel superhero, and she should never be considered a Wonder Woman, leader of the Marvel Universe type character, because she's not. But Marvel continues to pretend like she is. For example, with the current Avengers series, we're supposed to believe that all of these Avengers here, who are all senior to her, decided to vote for her to become chairman. I guess in terms of comics, I would like to see her be more of kind of like a Silver Surfer type character, who goes off into the universe and goes on crazy cosmic adventures, not always hanging around on Earth and trying to pretend like she's better than everyone else. And I guess another problem is that she has a very convoluted backstory. Again, she's a legacy character, and also it seems like every writer has their own take on her personality. I just hope that at some point Marvel stops this false marketing stuff, trying to make her out to be something she isn't, and just settle down on making her a cool character and making interesting stories with her. I think they need to take a page out of the Earth's Mightiest Heroes book. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. Until next time.